Austin Dillon needing to win next week is a good segue to what we're about to talk about, which is Daytona. Start the season.
I notice when we talk about Kyle, you really get quiet. I mean, you don't have any opinion of this, huh?
I'm just letting you say what you need to say.
Okay.
Get it out there.
Well, I want to be fair to everyone, and I deem this just kind of a racing incident that ended up crappy for both.
Yeah, I mean, they're racing for 19th. It is what it is.
Yep.
Right. Daytona.
Hold on.
Okay. I was going to segue that into.
Okay.
You're about to talk about Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bubba had a good day. There was not a first-time winner, so Bubba is still alive in this playoff race.
Staying alive.
He's one of the big guys on the bubble this week in Daytona. He can win and lock himself in, or he can race well, stay above the cut line, and hope for someone who has already won to win this race.
Yeah, I mean, I think that selfishly, we would like for him to gain 30 points on the 9 as the team owner, but I'm rooting for Bubba. I want him to run whatever race he needs to run to get himself in the playoffs. I think he deserves it. I think he's been working really hard. You saw the emotion that he had after Watkins Glen. That emotion stems from someone that's working really, really hard, and he's finally seeing results. And you know what? He ran 12th. He finished 12th. But you know what? He ran in the top 10 of both stages. Legitimately. It's been a long damn time. Maybe never has that been the case for Bubba on a road course. So I want to give him props and applaud him, pat him on the back. When I leave here and go to the 2311 meeting, I'm going to do those same things because I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the work that he's putting in. We had quite a bit of talk and dialogue the night before the race, talking about little things that we see. He's more open to being, showing humility and wanting to get better. Like, he's not being defensive. And that's something that I think that early on in his career, when we first started working with him, I noticed a little bit of a trait of is that, when things didn't go right, it was like, well, where can we point the finger? Like, it's surely someone's fault for this, that, and the other. He's put this team on his shoulders, and he's grown up. He's being a man. He got married. Him and Amanda, I think that was a good thing for him. Like, I'm really proud of the man he's becoming, the competitor he's becoming, the leader he's becoming. Listen, we still as a race team let him down at times. We do. We're gonna go through that. We're in the growing pains of trying to build a championship contending organization. I promised it in year 5. We're at year 2 3/4 right now. He's a great driver, and he's continuing to get better. He's a restart monster. He's putting races together. He's managing them. He's getting, this was, I think, the first road course where he can honestly say, I gave it all I had every lap. I didn't give up. I faced adversity. We lost a little track position. I battled it back. I got the most out of my car that I could today. And that's all we can ask. I think that, we as an organization needed to be better this weekend. For him to have his by far best road course performance from beginning to end in a weekend where Reddick frankly struggled, that tells me we got to get our stuff better at Watkins Glen. So the Gibbs cars were fast. We got plenty to look at there, but I think that he deserves it. I hope he gets in. I'm in a very difficult position when you look at the bubble on what I do, but I love the Gibbs family. The Gibbs family has been, let's just say this comes down to points.
But so Bubba's confident. He's fantastic on super speedways.
Absolutely.
He's won on a super speedway. He's always in contention at Daytona. If you're Bubba this week and you have a 30-point advantage on the cut line, how do you race this race? Do you hang out the back? Are you as aggressive as possible?
You pin your car to Ty Gibbs's back bumper.
No matter where he
or
is.
front bumper, whatever it might be.
No matter where he is.
No matter. Doesn't matter. If he's running last, you need to be second to last. He can't make up 30 points, and if he gets in a wreck, you're in the wreck. He can't gain on you if you're right together. Kyle Larson did that to me a few years ago in the regular season championship. This is after Briscoe spun us, and then Kyle took over the lead, and I needed to make up points on him. That guy was my biggest drafting partner the entire Daytona. I was like, I'm trying to shake him because I'm like, I need to put him in a spot where only I can fit into this hole and he can't. And that little shit just pinned his car to my car all day long, and I couldn't gain on him. If I finished sixth in the stage, he was seventh. Like, he was my biggest drafting partner the entire race.
So you're coming down. You got one lap to go at Daytona. You're running behind Ty and Bubba. Let's say Bubba's leading, Ty's in second. It could be either or, though. Going through turn 3 and 4, either of those cars decides to pull out, to pass the other, to win the race, and you're in third. Which car are you staying behind?
The 23.
Are you saying that because you're the owner of the 23, or why are you saying that?
Well, I own the car, for one.
Okay.
I mean, that's the biggest factor. I mean, I get it. It's by the letter of the law, I probably should be pushing Ty. Ty's got plenty of years. He's 20 years old. He's going to be in the sport for 20 plus years, and he's going to win championships. I'm financially invested in the 23. I think Bubba has paid his dues, and he's a deserving playoff driver. I saw it last year when he drove the 45 car to a top 10 in points. I just think he's ready, and he deserves a shot at it. This is not saying Ty does not. Ty has put together a rookie season that needs to be mentioned more. He's above the curve I thought he was going to be. I'm really impressed with Ty Gibbs. I mean, he was eating up my back bumper all day yesterday. But if JGR or anyone at JGR has a problem with me pushing Bubba, we got to have a talk. 2311's a big partner at Joe Gibbs Racing. I think that they know where my allegiance would lie on this one.
You're racing Martin Truex for the regular season championship. It's a long shot. You're back still quite a few points. How are you going into this one? What's your strategy?
I mean, we gained on them. We gained 21 points on the 19 at a road course. This is a good weekend for us. Really was. I didn't control the beginning of the race because I at least wanted to leave there with a stage win for one more playoff point. Listen, had I run my normal finishing position at a road course, William would be breathing down my neck now for second in the regular season. But I just kept him in tow the whole race. And so I'm really, really happy with the weekend. Can we get the 19? Yeah, we can.
What would need to happen for that to happen?
So we need to go out there, and we have no reason whatsoever but to be on keel the whole time. Just we're going to try to get as many stage points as we possibly can. Now, again, everyone is. Super speedway racing is different than it used to be. We've talked about this a billion times. Everyone's going to try to go right from lap one. I do think that this is going to be just an absolute crash fest. I think that the pushes are going to get too extreme. Anybody know the weather? Travis, check the weather for me at Daytona. This will tell me a lot about a few things. I just think that it always is a crash fest. When you see the checkered flag fall at the summer Daytona race, there's very few cars in the picture. I need to get stage points, and I need Martin to probably get caught up in a wreck. If I get stage points, I only need to beat him by about he needs to get in a wreck. Yeah. I mean, I don't wish. I mean, they're deserving. Let's be honest. You know, the 19 team is very deserving. I like James a lot and Martin a lot. I respect them both a ton. They're deserving. And I know that's something that they worked for, and they really got hot there in the middle of the summer. We're now getting hot, you know, leading into the playoffs. But you know, you can't deny that you know, when they win, they dominate, and you know, I think this would have been much more compelling had this podcast not cost me 25 points earlier.
Are you regretting that now?
It's easy to look back on it now, right?
But I mean, in the moment, did you think that
all actions have consequences, right? I made a decision to go into Phoenix, you know, go into that restart and run Ross up the racetrack. I made that choice. And by making that choice, I not only cost myself 15 points on the finish of the race, but then another 25 post-race. That's the lead right there. So, but everyone has that story. Everyone has, other than the point, you know, the points penalty, which was bullshit still. Everyone has races that got away from them. And so you can't go back now, and we're still in a better playoff point position than what we were last year by far. So I believe the way we're running right now, we're primed for a deep run.
Travis, what's the weather? What were you looking at?
It's looking partly cloudy, high 80s.
Okay.
Right now.
High 80s?
Yeah.
On
89.
Saturday night?
So how does that lead to a crash fest?
Okay, so the slicker the racetrack, the racetrack at Daytona is significantly slicker in the summer race than it is.
Is the race Saturday or
February.
Sunday night?
Saturday night.
Saturday, sunny and 90, not partly cloudy.
Okay, sunny and 90.
Okay, so the track's gonna be hot for most of the race, even though it's a night race. It's still that heat carries in it. So what's gonna happen is the push drafts. People are gonna continue to be pushing harder and harder. They're gonna be fifth in their line. We're gonna be running 2 by 2, and the people fifth and sixth in line who feel like they need to go somewhere, they can't win the race from there. Not in lap 1, not at lap 199, whatever the hell, maybe 160. Like, you can't win from there. So they're going to keep pushing their line until the wrecks happen, and then they hope to make it through.
But also, this is the last chance for
everyone
else.
else.
Everyone else to get
Right.
into the playoffs.
So that's what I'm saying. If they're the guys fifth or sixth in line, the only way to make a move, because these lanes, because these cars have so much drag, they just go back and forth. Top lane, it's literally Interstate 77 traffic. It's just which lane's going to go. Neither one of them go. We just run 2 by 2. So the urgency is going to come from back in the pack, or it's going to come from third place, trying to push first place past and let them clear so they can switch lanes. It's going to be a lot of wrecks, and so got to survive.
If you're Truex racing you for the regular season championship, well, first of all, let's mention that you win the regular season championship, you get 15 bonus playoff points. How significant is that in the grand scheme of things when trying to win the full championship?
It matters for sure. There's not been very many point layups when it comes to making the Final Four. So it's, I think that our prediction that we made maybe was about 10 weeks ago on who's going to make the Final Four. I think they're pretty much the strongest cars for right now. So I think we'll talk about next week we'll do a mock bracket of who we think's going where. But I think that Truex and William Byron have got really good playoff points that they just need to not make mistakes. And then, if they can win in the second to last round, obviously they're going to go to the Final Four. But if not, we always at least have one car make it in on points. And they're the two guys in the best spot to do that. And then we would be next in line in third.
So I was about to ask is if you're Truex and you're racing you for the regular season championship, how do you manage this race? Do you just avoid crashing at all costs?
Yes, he would just hang out at the back. Yeah.
Pressure's on you to make up those points.
Yeah, and even still, if he doesn't crash, it doesn't matter if we win both stages and he collects 0. I'm still, how far am I behind? 39.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then
roughly.
I would still have to win the race also, and him finish like 15th or worse. So he just needs to not crash.
Yeah, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
get stage points.
Mm-hmm. Or he can just race it out and run right next to me, and wherever I run, he runs. Ty is going to want as many pushers as he can get, and if Martin's in the back, that's not helping Ty because he's going to try to outpoint Bubba, I would think.
Is there anyone in this race that you could look at that has momentum?
No, doesn't matter. But let me just tell you, I'm going to go on the record right now. I see someone like Chase Briscoe winning. Out of the blue, just all from nowhere, bam, Chase Briscoe comes in, wins.
And that's worst case scenario for you.
So wouldn't you said that you wanted Bubba just to stay with Ty because you have these other drivers? Shouldn't Bubba be kind of looking at the other drivers and be worrying about potentially competing to win?
Daniel Suarez, guys like that.
Like, because if someone else wins, it doesn't matter if he's in front of Ty.
Yeah, but okay, so if someone wins a super speedway race, it's because of what they did. You're not going to prevent someone else from winning. Now, he can be part of the story. If Bubba is up front, he can dictate. So say there is a line up top. Let's just be hypothetical. A line up top, and there's someone that's already in the playoffs leading that line. And he is behind someone that if they win, they get in the playoffs. Well, I can assure you what Bubba's doing. He ain't pushing that guy. So when it comes down to the end, Bubba's checking up. Sorry, buddy. I'm out. Here, someone else take over, push it. And that would kill the line, and the other guy would win. So you can manipulate your line by just not pushing.
I'm assuming that's pretty easy for that to be on Bubba's mind, right? He's going to be thinking that the whole race that, hey, so-and-so's leading. He hasn't won a race yet this year. If he wins, I'm out of the playoffs. Or is that something that Freddie is going to have to provide him as a spotter? Do you think?
Knows.
He knows.
Yeah, he'll know all that for sure. Listen, I know we can try to break this down a million different ways. You got to just execute the best race you can. Constantly keep yourself updated to the points. I get it. I've been in this position before in cutoff races where I've had about a 30-point lead going over into the cut line over the next round of the playoffs, and it's like you're always nervous, right? Are we going to get a new winner? How am I doing on points? But just get the best finish that you possibly can. If Bubba does not get caught in a crash, I don't care what Ty Gibbs does, short of winning the race, he won't make up the 30 points because there's not going to be many cars left at the end.